I went to school in Germany, and once I finished school there, I moved to Northern Ireland initially for a year, but then I met my husband and I liked Ireland so much that I stayed and studied law at Queen's University in Belfast. And very early on during my studies, I had a fabulous EU law lecturer, and I was very drawn to competition law initially. And I then trained at Clifford Chance in London, where I was exposed to many other areas of law during my training, but I always got pulled back to competition law, which was where my real interest lay. But once I qualified into competition law, and later on when procurement law developed, I also started advising on procurement law. So I've worked for a variety of firms in London, in Northern Ireland and in Ireland, and I joined Mason Hayes & Curran in 2023. And I suppose what struck me about Mason Hayes & Curran more than any other firm that I've worked for, that it's a very modern and progressive firm, and really trying to establish itself as a little bit different to maybe some of the other firms. I specialise in competition and public procurement law, and what I like about my role is that no 2 days really are the same. I advise on a wide variety of topics, and that includes, for example, merger control, state aid and public procurement processes, including potential challenges to processes in the courts or potential competition litigation. And what I particularly like about those areas of law is that they have a very strong EU angle, that they're quite academic areas, so I get to read a lot of cases. Also, I like the fact that for competition law, you really get to know the businesses very well that the clients operate in, and you get some in-depth knowledge about many different kinds of sectors. Modern, progressive and friendly. Positive, honest and determined. Some might say stubborn. I love my family, obviously, but I also love running and hiking. So activities and being outside, those are my absolute passions. Neither. I don't particularly like crisps. I am a chocolate lover. Definitely mountains. Dogs. I have a golden retriever. Mixture of both is, I think, the perfect way to work. Definitely night owl. Neither. I'm a coffee drinker. I like both, but probably prefer books. I recently read some very good books, and probably the two standouts for me are Lessons in Chemistry and The Nightingale. I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania a few years ago, and it was an amazing experience, which I can highly recommend to everybody.